Hey rockers, welcome back to the channel. I've got a short GG Allin tale for you tonight. For those of you that have been asking and were cool enough to subscribe, I'm going to honor your wish and deliver another GG tale, albeit a kind of short one tonight. First of all, thanks to Neon Chrome, a great metal band out of Medford, Oregon, who were cool enough to give me one of their shirts. And I said, you know what? I'm going to wear that in my YouTube channel videos, or at least one of them. Here it is, Neon Chrome, badass, based out of Medford, Oregon. Great stuff, man. Shout out to David and Riley and Logan and Josh from Neon Chrome. Tonight we're talking about GG Allin and the Hated in the Nation album. Yeah, many of you have heard of it, many of you own it, and many of you might be hearing about it for the first time right now, right? Basically, it was released on ROIR Records, the ROIR, ROIR Records label. Originally as a cassette tape in 1987, then on CD in 1998, and finally on vinyl in 2004. Really cool album cover. Not quite sure. I think it was Mykel Board that probably designed the cover. He's the one that produced the album. I know other people helped out as well. No disrespect to anybody intended, but Mykel Board from legendary New York City band Artless, and also legendary columnist for Maximum Rock and Roll magazine or fanzine that we used to read back in the 80s and 90s. I think they're still around. I don't know. Maybe online. Regardless, Mykel had a great column called You're Wrong, and I was a big fan of that. So I started writing Mykel early on, sending him various music I had released with my band Hate and stuff after that. But we became friends. We started corresponding back in the days when a lot of people had a lot of pen pals. I even have a song on one of my records called My P.O. Box, because I would go there every day. It was a ritual, and it'd always be stuffed full of letters from all over the world, man, literally everywhere. And we were happy to correspond. GG was an avid pen pal. It's kind of a weird word, pen pal, but that's what it was. He would write people and keep it going back and forth with just so many people, and I was the same, and so was Mykel Board. Anyway, Mykel and I became friends, and I made some notes. I'm going to consult those every once in a while to keep on track. It's hell having ADHD, let me tell you, man. It's a compilation album, for those of you that don't know, produced again by Mykel Board. It features recordings from the Jabbers, the Scumfucks, Cedar Street Sluts, the New York Super Scum, the Motor City Bad Boys, and some other little clips and answering machine messages and other stuff that Mykel threw on there. Great album. As a matter of fact, I hear that it's the only GG Allin album that has never gone out of print. That's what I discovered today online. I didn't know that, but that's what I read today, and I bet it's true. It's a great record, man. It's a compilation, and of course, as we were corresponding, Mykel and I don't recall if he came out and asked me for a song title idea, or if he told me he was putting together the album, which I remember him telling me, hey, Bloody, I'm putting together this album for ROIR Records. And I eventually wrote to him, and I said, well, look, we've been on the Hated in the Nation tours. The Hated in the Nation fanzines came out in 86, and the second one came out in 88, for you trivia buffs. And this album, of course, coming out in 87. I told Mykel, call it Hated in the Nation. It's a perfect album title. Who cares if it was used for the tours or the fanzine? But the album is a different animal. It's going to reach everyone. And it did. It became one of those records that kind of made GG explode. Explode. Never mind. But he did explode, and this album went to all corners of the earth and kind of internationally distributed. A lot of people started hearing about his legendary Cat Club performance in New York City with the New York Super Scum. You can read about that online, easily find out information. I remember GG calling me on the phone after that Cat Club show, and he was so excited. He had been up for days drinking whiskey, and he had just lost his mind in New York City, and everyone freaked. And he called me up from a pay telephone like maybe an hour or two after that show. He's like, Bloody, I played the Cat Club. Well, kinda. And he told me everything that transpired, and I was just super hyped up when he called. It was like really late at night, and I remember just super adrenaline going through me, because I'm like, he's gonna make the press, and I know he's gonna, and he did. The New York City press covered this stuff for like a month, and GG exploded, man. He explodes in all kinds of ways, right? So that's how it came up, man. Mykel said, you know what, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use Hated in the Nation, and that's what happened, and I'm proud to have been part of that. in a completely freaked out, weirdo sort of way. But Mykel was cool enough to do something for me that I've seen on the cassette and I've seen it on the vinyl. I'm sure it's on the CD booklet or whatever or whatnot. But it says right here, special thanks to Bloody F Mess, who suggested the title, The World's Greatest GG Allin Fan. You should write for an all GG zine. And then it says BFM. And my old address at 5523 Montello Drive, Peoria, Illinois, 61614. Yep, you probably can't read it, but hey, there it is. And then I noticed on this album version, tonight I was like looking at it really closely, right? And I noticed that they also used a quote from Jello Biafra from the Dead Kennedys, which was in one of my fanzines, in which I asked Jello about GG and what he thought about him, right? Because me and Jello were actually friends for quite a few years, man, from about 83 to 88, or maybe even later when he came around and did spoken word stuff. But yeah, we connected many times in person and wrote to each other. And I remember Jello said this in that quote, and I've actually told this to people over the years many times, and here it is in print. It says, Jello Biafra, Dead Kennedys, even some of the most dogmatic men and political men and women in the Bay Area always had a soft spot in their heart for GG Allin because he was so extreme. And that's something I always remember Jello saying, man, according to his opinion about GG Allin. Made some other notes, man. The GG fanzines, I'm thinking about reprinting those and adding another page to each one. I've gotten a lot of feedback from you guys, from dozens and dozens of people saying I'd buy it. So yeah, you can probably look forward to that in the future. And I feel like I've just done a free commercial or a promo for ROIR Records for this record, because I wonder how many we're going to sell. If you know, a couple thousand people see this video and don't have it, how many people are going to buy that now? So if you talk to ROIR Records, tell them to send me a kickback, kick down some dinero for the Bloodman for promoting the record. I'm just kidding, kinda. Anyway, ROIR Records, hated in the nation, great album. Like I said, it wasn't a real long story or anything like that, but I just wanted to hop on here and get something out, further your knowledge about GG. I heard from my friend Kramer today. He sent me a photo of him at GG's grave. Of course, they have removed the headstone from the grave because it was attracting so many people there, and people were doing some vile stuff on that grave, man. Use your imagination. But yeah, Kramer, shout out to him, man. Shout out to Gene Perfect also, because on this album, Hated in the Nation, Mykel was clever because he used a lot of dialogue and some of the monologue of GG Allin on stage at the legendary 1985 Twilight Room show in Dallas, Texas. So it's kind of like a fake live album. As you're listening, in between tracks, you hear GG on stage in Dallas, and Gene Perfect, shout out to him. He was on the bass guitar at that gig, man. Listen, my friends, if you dig the channel, I wish you would subscribe. That would help me out a lot. I do have more GG tales, and I do have longer GG tales. Will I be doing them for my porch like I did this one? Who knows? It's a really nice night here in Southern Oregon, and I thought, you know what? Jump on and just do like a 10-minute video. So right now I'm at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. What can I say about GG to fill up the next minute and a half? Well, I can tell you, like I say, man, he was an avid pen pal to many people. Many will attest to that. He also kept in touch with a lot of people via telephone. He would often call collect, most of the time. And if you wanted to talk to him, you would accept it, man, right? And, I'm sure my parents appreciated all those phone calls from GG back in the day. I don't really recall them making me pay for them. They might have. But I didn't always accept them. Sometimes GG would call me and I'd be pissed off because thinking, man, what do you think I made him money, bro? And I wouldn't accept, and he'd inevitably end up calling back within the day or so, and he'd pay for it, But you got to give it to him, man. He always kept in touch and kept it going, and he was absolutely obsessed with the idea of becoming the most decadent, sickest rocker of all time, and by God, he did, And it's weird. When I first met him, man, in the 80s, 85, like he was still doing stuff with the Jabbers. He was still married. He never told me this stuff at the time. He never said he was in the Jabbers. It's almost like he was kind of freaked out about even bringing that music out because he was trying to be so much into the scumfuck stuff and all that at the time. It took him a long time to even come out and show me the Jabbers record, which I wasn't aware of when I met him. It blew my mind to find out his backstory. You know what I'm saying? But that's another story, man. Thanks for being here at Bloody F Mess Official, where I made it to 10 minutes on the freaking dot, man.